Hello and welcome back to a new video. Yes, I'm in a different location again. I've been kicked out for the day from the farm for reasons you will see this weekend. But today's video is all about finishing the outhouse. It is the last video in the outhouse series. I'm very excited to say it's not 100% done. There's still some things that I would like to do on the outhouse build. But we're about 97% done, which I'm very excited about. Oh gosh, it's been some time. I looked today and I realized it's taken just over a month to do that project. A lot longer than I was expecting it to be. But here we are and I'm quite happy with the results, to be honest. So let me show you guys what I've done. Hello and welcome. I'm Christine, an expat originally from South Africa. I moved to Portugal in October of 21. This is my adventure as a solo expat on a farm in Central Portugal with my two fur kids, Shakti and Shiva. I've never owned or lived on a farm, but I moved to Portugal in the hope of fulfilling a lifelong dream in finding an open space, subsistence farming, and a safer, better life. Now that we have found our farm, the second stage of our journey begins. I have to figure out farm life while renovating an agricultural structure to make it habitable and turn it into a comfortable home for me and my fur kids. Follow along our journey. This is Girl Meets Farm. Portugal had a bit of a tropical storm, which brought rain for about 4 days. Luckily, this was just after I'd managed to put the roof up, but not before I varnished. When the rains finally ended, I gave it about a day or so for the wood to dry out, and then I could really assess the damage that was left after all the rain and not having wood varnished. So the door took some strain and the planks had already started warping a bit, moving away from the structure of the planks from the door already. But besides that, look, the wood looked a little bit worse for wear. It looked a little bit bleached out across the whole structure, but it was still standing and looked salvageable if I can just get it varnished. So that was the next step. I started with the door because even though it was quite a big learning curve putting that door together, it is kind of my pride and joy of the whole project. It also took the most strain after the rain, so it really needed the varnish the most. Next, it was finally time to start with the interior walls. And I started with the tongue and groove in the shower because this is the most important part for me to get finished so I can start using it. I started cutting, measuring and placing the tongue and groove for the walls. I even used some of the leftover insulation, the foam that was left from the insulation of the roof project, and decided to put that on the side of the shower walls as well as on the sides of the toilet wall. Laid some plastic, drilled a hole for a little drain pipe. Next we're going to put perspex on the walls. Finally, it was at a point where I could have an inside shower. And this is the end result of the outhouse build. Unfortunately, I didn't get as far as I would have liked with the interior, but for the purpose of this vlog, this is the end of the outhouse build. I may show the outhouse in future updates to see how I've rounded things off. So, at the end, I have managed to varnish the entire outhouse. And it's making a good difference, not just in the look of the wood, but also when it rains. And without further ado, here is the interior. As I mentioned, still some things to finish, but it is what it is. I have tongue and grooved and varnished all the wood. In fact, I did the last of the varnishing and finished this tongue and groove today only. So things are still a little bit wet. And there's still a few things, like I said, and a few areas that I still need to paint. But this is going to be the toilet side. This will be built up, and I may actually finesse it a little bit nicer by putting some of the same tongue and groove wood on the front piece of this, maybe with an overlapping piece of the pine that I used on the outside to round things off here at the window level, and anywhere else that still needs a little bit of rounding off. So this area is going to be closed up, so you will not be able to see the actual inside of the toilet. Don't worry guys, the toilet is clean. So there's nothing nasty, there's no nasty surprises that's going to be lurking there. For anyone that commented in my earliest video on when I created my toilet on the inside and used the separate, you'll notice that I switched the position of the separate to the top of the wood. Previously I had it mounted underneath, but after getting some comments, I have now mounted it on top. It still feels not so great actually to be on top, because I'm using a real toilet seat, and usually with a separate you use some kind of foam toilet seat, which will probably fit a little bit differently than this if used in this way. But it is fitted now, and I understand why, obviously for hygiene reasons, so we'll see. My intention, as you can see, before we get there, as you can see, what I've done is I've actually mounted the toilet seat on brackets. So if I just remove these things, what happens is I can lift this up, and as I mentioned, everything is clean, don't worry. That's the separate. It now connects actually to all the way to the outside, so I don't even have to clean any liquid anymore. And the actual bucket, I can lift this up and grab the bucket as when it needs to be emptied. On the side, what I'm doing on the side is I'm going to be doing this for something very similar. So I'll be mounting pieces on the side, so that will be on hinges, as you can see over there. Lift it up, and this will be storage space. So whether that's for the spray, toilet paper, or sawdust, whatever I want to store in here, towels, whatever it may be, cleaning stuff, toiletries, whatever, that will be 2 extra pockets of storage. I then also need to find somewhere to mount the toilet paper if it's not just going to be standing on the storage area. As I mentioned, lots of little rounding off pieces that I still need to do, but we're getting there, we're getting there. On the door, I have fitted a little latch, so when you're on the inside, you can lock it when in use. And then on the shower side, we finally finished all of the cladding. I've managed to varnish, or seal I should say, the inside of the shower completely. I added these hooks on the inside, which are quite sturdy as they go into one of these beams. And this I thought could be nice for whatever, like hanging towels, clothes, whatever. I may actually add like a little stool, corner stool or something to pack things in, just to make it a little bit more convenient with regards to clothes and space and whatnot. My intention with the roof sheeting that I've used to seal, I guess, the shower is to also round off these edges. They are pretty sharp, and I think rounding off the top, the side edges will actually be quite nice and be a little bit safer than the setup that I have here, but it is what it is for the moment and it works really well. Some finishing still coming at the top here. All of this has been sealed as well, so I can now get water on the wood, not a problem, but I may actually just put some rubber here or finish this area off with a little bit more of the roof sheeting as well. And there we have it. That is the end of the outhouse build.